Hello, ladies and gentlemen of all ages. Welcome to the 928 Studios podcast. I'm your host, Colin Silber, and this is my co host, first time on the channel, Sophia Capanna. And today we're going to be discussing Coraline. And oh, wow, there's a lot to talk about. Okay, so for some background, Coraline is a 2009 animated film starring Dakota Fanning and a bunch of other actors that I can't really remember the entire cast. And it was developed by,
A book by Neil Gaiman.
it was based on a book by British author Neil Gaiman, who also wrote the Graveyard Book, which is a classic, in my opinion, modern classic. So, Leica is famously known for their stop motion animations. You may have seen films like Kubo and the Two Strings, or The Box Trolls, or most recently Missing Link. But this was their actually first animated feature, and it was really well received, but it was very, very dark. So, we're going to start off with our with the story. So, Sophia, do you want to do this for me?
Sure, without, spoiling too. Am I allowed to spoil?
Spoilers to those of you who haven't seen the movie.
Spoiler alert. Yeah. But basically, the story is that there's this girl named Coraline, and she moves into this pink palace, what it's called. It's like a house.
Pink Palace
And
Apartments is what it's
yeah,
called.
the big house apartments, which was one big house that was divided into many different houses. And along that, she meets her weird neighbors, her family who kind of ignore her and just focus on their own life. And one day she finds a little door in her house that leads her to this incredible world where everything's there. It's like an alternate universe. Her family is there, her neighbors are there, except everything's better and they have button eyes. So later in the movie, you find out that even though they're amazing, they're kind of just using her, and they want to keep her there forever, and sew buttons into her eyes. And she meets ghosts that her other mother that's there, had trapped along the way, and she has to free them and basically. Let me try to turn off my computer or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very basic story, and I did kind of find some like snippets of certain stories in there, but it doesn't matter. I'll get to my criticisms very, very soon. But let us get to the characters of the film. We got, of course, Coraline, voiced by Dakota Fanning, and probably her best role ever. Like, honestly, she is a really talented actress. I really do like her in films like My Neighbor Totoro. And yeah, so the character is your main character. She's the main character. She's pretty much a girl who's just ordinary. Like, we could be any she could be any one of us. Like, she has parents who kind of ignore her, and she's running into this like nerdy geeky guy. We'll get to him soon. And then when
Yeah.
she discovers this world, everything's great, but like everything has their limits. It's like when you like eat something really nice, the world, and you just get sick of it after a while. Like that's a comparison I could make, honestly. But yes, she, even though her parents can be annoying, specifically her mother, a mother and daughter relationship was handled incredibly well in this. She actually cares for both of them, even though they can be weird and annoying. But yeah, it's like
What is happening with my? Sorry, I don't know what silence.
it's called. Okay, whatever. Yeah, just ignore the constant dinging.
Yeah, there might be some. Just, just
I mean,
don't.
this is the first podcast I'm ever doing, so like I could
Yeah.
go. Yeah, my favorite part about her is how she interacts with pretty much every other character. Like, how she interacts with her parents and all the other characters around her, because it's just really great seeing her like this. And I'm just like, I think this is how a normal human being would act. As for the other characters, we have the parents. We got a workaholic mom who's just like typing all the time, kind of like my father. Every day I come downstairs and he's typing. But moving on,
Yeah.
I really like the voice actress for her. She was, but she also plays the villain of the movie, and I'll get there. But she is actually a really hard working person, and she is strict. That is something to note. She's very strict. There's one point where like you get to feel the relationship between the mother and daughter strike you just like it should in real life. Like, I will do this one thing and then I got to get back to work and you can't bug me. That has happened to me personally in my life. Yeah, the father is the nerd. He's always like kind of typing and he always has his dreams for things like, I guess I don't exactly remember because the movie's fresh in my mind, but I just don't remember. And then we have YB, and he's like the nerd one, and he's the yeah. You'll get her opinions on the characters soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the nerd, he's the geek, and I kind of got the vibe in the beginning that Coraline and him were gonna end up together in like a you know what relationship, but in the end, it's just they're friends, and
Just a relationship.
yeah, voice acting wise is also good. Then we get to the weird neighbors, and honestly, they're some of my. So we got Mr. Bobinski, played by Ian McShane. You may recognize him from Deadwood or Kung Fu Panda. He plays Tai Lung. He was my favorite character. He was just funny, and he was really well animated, and I loved his fake Russian accent. Is awesome. He's English in real life. But yeah,
Really? I didn't know that.
he's English. Yeah, so he's got puts on the weird Russian accent. It's really funny. He's a funny character. And then we have the two like neighbors. I don't know their names, but they are voiced by two English comedians, Jennifer Saunders and Don French. They did a really good job. And then we get the other characters. Now the other is the like opposite world that Sophia was talking about. So we have I'm getting into the villain last. We have the other father who's just like less nerdier. He's more like a like cool dad. He plays piano and he's like into gardening and like he's cool, but he's also controlled by hands, which kind of reminded me of that one Teen Titans Go episode.
Controlled by hand.
Those like mechanic hands.
Okay, what Colin is trying to say is there's a piano, okay, and he has no idea how to play the piano, but he has a piano that when you put the gloves on, it plays for you.
Yeah,
So
but then things get out of control when things start going downhill.
yeah,
But yeah, they reminded me of that like one episode of Teen Titans Go where Raven puts like a spell on Robin and then he gets this like demon hanging over him and he can't fall asleep. But I'm getting off track. Then we have the other YB. He's the complete opposite of his real world counterpart. All of the other characters are complete opposites of their real world counterparts until the climax. But yeah, this version of YB is quiet because, to quote one of the characters from The Shining, the villain corrected him, and he's just quiet. He reminds me a lot of like the animal sidekicks from Disney films, but like the actual animal sidekick is actually a talkative one. And then we get
in one world.
what?
He only talks in the other world.
Oh yeah, but I'm getting there. Then we have the two neighbors, well, not the three neighbors, but like the two women that live together. They're actually performing theater, and they have an interest in like dogs. I guess. I mean, they have a bunch of dogs. And there's one part of the movie where they just put on an entire stage show, and I will get to the well animated scenes and also the problems I had with it, because I did have a few problems.
Yeah.
A few problems.
Good point.
And then we have Mr. Bobinski, who has a complete like cool circus act with a bunch of mice, and the mice do serve a big role in the story, apparently, but I really don't know. And then we have the villain, the other mother, who is essentially like some sort of witch or a demon or something, who like lures children into her world to pretty much like take their soul. And the way she does that is by sewing buttons onto their eyes, and the buttons thing has like a significance to, well, the plot, I guess. So she is kind of terrifying. I mean, at first, like because it's just a blank-eyed expression. You can't tell what expression she's making. You can only tell by the eyebrows, because like you got eyes like this, but then it's just imagine my eyes were closed, and that's how I'm communicating all the time. Just kind of just like, hey, how are you? And at the end, she does turn into a demonic monster or something. But yeah, and then there's one character who's in between. I wouldn't necessarily say he's in both worlds. His name's Charlie the cat. I called him Cyrus because I didn't know he had a name until I looked him up towards the end of the movie. But he's a cat. He's just like a normal black cat in the real world, but in the other world he talks, and yeah. So yeah, the characters for the most part I thought were really well done, and they were written well, and I might check out the book after this, which if it's darker, you guys can let me know. Yeah, so we're going to talk about the animation design next. So I'll have Sophia give her thoughts, and then I'll give my thoughts on the animation.
I thought the animation was really, really well done, especially for like a 2009 film. And it was claymation, which it takes a long time. Like the process, I'm sure you can look it up or we'll insert photos or something like that. But there's basically it's like stop motion animation, but with clay figures that people spend the time to make um, for each clip. So
Leica uses like, oh, keep
yeah,
going. Leica uses like so many clay figures. It's kind of like, so when I think of stop motion, I usually think of other animation products like The Nightmare Before Christmas, the Tim Burton classic, or the Indian Paintbrush, which is a 20th Century Fox animation division. But I guess since it was purchased by Disney, I don't think it's gonna work anymore. But they did Fantastic Mr. Fox and I Love Dogs. So
look,
yeah,
they have all of their expressions that they make.
they over hundreds of hours per film, and I'm worried that they're gonna start losing money because Missing Link didn't do so well at the box office last time when it was in theaters. Mainly because I guess like people didn't really care.
Was it good? I didn't watch
I haven't seen it. I mean, I might check it out, but yeah. So the animation is just, that every shot has love put into it. Like every frame, every second, every facial expression. Like this is so much. Like I'm surprised the animators took this much time, and I'm just like the final product still looks incredibly beautiful. Shot wise, my favorite entire like scene was the first time that the other father reveals the garden towards to Coraline, and it's just really really popping out. It's probably one of the best animated shots I have seen, and this gives me the courage to check out the Wallace and Gromit cartoons, and Shaun the Sheep and Chicken Run and maybe
Oh
Gumby.
yeah.
And I also have seen another Henry Selick product, because this film was made by Henry Selick, who also did some of the visual work. And I think he did direct The Nightmare Before Christmas. I just don't know. If he did, then, well, great for him. But he also directed a Disney film called James and the Giant Peach, which came out in the 90s. It was also stop motion animation. And yeah. So we gotta get to the music next.
I thought it was good. I It was kind of the same song for everything.
I mean, they did utilize a bunch of like music box music, in my opinion. Like it always sounds like the songs are played from a music box, but it's fine. It's just not great. I mean, I'd have preferred an original score. Like maybe Danny Elfman would have done a good job with the score because yeah.
I thought it was it was good for the scene. It's the opening scene is where you hear it first, like the where the opening credits come on. And I thought it was done very well, but you hear the same song over and over and over again throughout the whole thing.
I
And I
mean,
guess it would have been good to have more of a variety.
it's fine though. It's not
It's
like
not bad.
not distracting or anything.
Yeah.
And then we come to well, the climax. I mean, I'm dedicating like the climax is like 30 whole minutes left to the movie, or like 35 to something minutes, I don't know. But it does take up quite a bit of the movie. So I guess we start with like, when Coraline is realizing that she's going to have those buttons sewed onto her eyes, and it's
Yeah.
freaking her out. It's scaring her. So she tries to go to bed, because usually when she goes to bed, like when she wakes up in the morning, she's back in her normal world instead of the other world, but she's stuck in the other world. So she talks to Charlie the cat, and they walk to like the barriers of like the whole, like the end of the world pretty much. It's just white. I guess I'm just gonna be honest. I guess that's the animator's way of saying we ran out of money, so we just wrote that in there. I'm just kidding. I'm just messing. I'm just messing with you. Anyways, so she goes back, and then we get the reveal of the like scary other mother, and just like her a hybrid form, I should say, because her monster form is just like all cracks in her face.
The other mother is
A
kind
demoness.
of that demented sort of thing, and we can get a backstory and kind of a short history from her because of um the woman who owns the Pink Palace, which is the place that they live. Her sister, it's the same thing happened to her, and Coraline meets her sister later.
So she gets thrown into a mirror and meets these three ghosts, one of which is the sister, and the other two are like other children, I guess. I really don't remember. So she tries to go back, and that's also what sacrifices other YB, and that kind of did make me sad at first. I mean, it really hurt. And when she gets back, everything is just like it's just it's not normal. So she tries to tell YB about it, but they do the whole cliche "you're crazy" sort of bit. It's really getting old, guys.
Okay, but if you saw her talking about that, would you not think she was
Maybe
insane?
yes, I would honestly, but
Well,
like I've
you wouldn't be like, you're right. Let's go through
honestly, I would say she's acting kind of crazy, but I've seen the whole crazy bit so many times. It's just a tired cliche for me. Particularly when you're a film critic, you gotta you gotta destroy everything. You gotta watch everything and just destroy
Where
it.
have you seen the I'm crazy bit from?
I've seen it in like quite a bit, like Brave, when she like, well, it's not directly said. No one actually tells her she's crazy, but like when she goes to the witch, and like she's not there, and like everything's just like vacant, and she's like, no, but I thought she was here. And they did that a few times. They did that with some of the modern Pixar, some of the Silver Age of Pixar, the the 2011 to 2013 was the Silver Age of Pixar.
Hmm.
Yeah, or something like that.
I didn't like Brave
Or Bronze. No, no, I didn't like Brave either.
because the trailer is about a strong woman who's an archer, and
And then the
and then
entire movie
about our bear family.
I'm gonna turn my mom and my brothers into a bear instead of fighting a giant monster. But that's another story. Yeah. I'm getting off track. So then since her parents are missing, this is probably the most emotional scene in the entire movie for both of us, and I'm just man. I remember. Okay, so she makes pillow versions of her parents, and I'm just like, oh, that's cute. But then when she's like,
her parents aren't there because the demented woman stole them.
Demented monster is what I thought of that.
Exactly. So when me and Colin were watching the movie, we were just like,
oh damn. When she's especially just like, good night, mom, good night, dad, and just starts silently
she makes them out of pillows because she misses.
And I'm just like, Jesus, what the so then Charlie comes back, and then she finds them in the mirror, and then she has to go back into that world, and she thinks she found her mom, and then it turns out to be the demented monster. I'm just gonna call it that, the demented monster. I can't say the other mother anymore.
They called her something. It started with a B. I forgot.
Maybe just call it the ghost that haunts the Pink Palace.
Yeah, that's smart.
But I mean, it is gone, but like.
Yeah, but we forgot to mention about the dolls. The dolls.
Oh yeah, there's a doll that. So the doll's significance to the plot is that like it's supposed to spy on people or spy on children when they're not happy, and then they get lured into the other world before the inevitable happens. They get axed off.
Yeah.
So the climax revolves around Coraline using like this like triangle thing that she found. I didn't
Miss Forcible and Miss.
I don't know their names. Just call them the British couple that lived downstairs.
They're not a couple. The British.
Well, they're not a couple. They're the British friends that live downstairs.
They're one of the neighbors, and not only do they like have like 100,000 dogs, but they're actresses, and they dramatize everything.
Bad actresses.
True. Colin,
they're terrible.
Colin has very strong opinions on them.
Oh, don't worry.
Oh yeah.
Don't wait. You'll just see. I am going to rip them to shreds. but Lord of mercy.
The they I guess they kind of like are also spiritual and like fortune-y or whatever. So they make tea and they read fortunes and they read tea leaves and
they use expired candy for some reason.
They use old candy from like 1917.
I don't really get it. I don't really get it either.
What's it called? They like grind, like break them up, and I guess they find little artifacts in them. And so the one that's where Coraline came was this little square with the hole in it, and she took it when she went back to find her parents because she had a game with the other mother, and that was like, oh, I'm gonna find my parents and the 3 children's eyes.
Yeah. So first stop was the garden, where she fights like a. It's reminding me of that like Toy Story short from like 2014. That Time Forgot, when Rex is like has those like robot arms. If any of you remember that short on ABC, like he has arms. He's like, I'm sorry, I can't control myself. It's sort of like that. He's like, I'm sorry, she's making me do it, because the hand stretched his mouth.
Yeah. Kind of like, they're like
kind of that guy now. I'm sorry if I just offended everybody. Anyways,
they're like controls everyone.
Yeah, so he's like
people to make things better. Except he's like an exception, I guess, because there's that.
He's the nice one.
When he starts to die, when he's like, take
this, and then whenever she like gets past the level, it reminds me of a video game quite a bit, whenever she gets like past an obstacle, everything just kind of turns like gray and just all ragged and rocky. So she gets the eyes of the ghosts. The ghosts, yeah. What else am I supposed to call them? So then we move on to the neighbors, the British friends that live below. There's got to be a shorter name for that. I swear there is.
I'll look them up.
I don't know. Just look them up. I'm not gonna call them by their phone. I'm not gonna remember this by the end of the night. I promise you. I promise you, I'm not gonna remember their names by the end of the night.
Miss Spink and Miss Forcible.
Spink and whatever. So they go to so she goes to the theater. Oh, by the way, she's wearing pajamas, a vest, and a captain's hat.
Yeah.
I guess that's supposed to make her look like a superhero.
She's wearing pajamas because she was
going to bed.
She was going to bed in her actual house, and then at night, these mice came that live upstairs, and they come and they they guide her to the door, which was once closed, but I guess now it's open.
I guess it's open.
I guess it's open now.
All right, so she's in the theater, and then there's just like bat dog hybrids, and they are really like nice to look at. I mean, those are like, if I ever go to see like how these animations were made, I will definitely try to get some pictures. So then we see like there's like this toffee, or it's English toffee, and it's just a wrapper, and she sees one of the eyes, so she puts her hand in, and then they're made of toffee. I just called it the toffee monster. That's got to be a Candyland thing.
Oh, was that the?
Yeah, that was them.
Wait, let me figure
out. They just turned into toffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I called them the toffee monster. So then she threw lights at bats, and I guess lured them there because bats are blind, and they guess they follow noise and scent to go somewhere. Please tell me if that's true. I really want to know. So yeah, after that she goes to Bobinski's place, and then we see the clothes of other YB, so signifying that he was like killed somehow. And then we just see
because because like YB, first of all, he talked a lot in real life. So when they went to the kind of flipped world, he's like, somehow the other mother made him not talk anymore.
Yeah, she corrected him,
fixed him, but he wasn't smiling because he was upset because he hated himself in his life. But
he failed his job miserably.
So she sewed his lips like this, so he was always smiling.
It's reminding me of that scene. This is my last pop culture reference, I promise. It's reminding me of that opening scene from Joker, where he's just sitting in the dressing room, and then he's just not happy, and so he does this. And there's a tear running down his face, and the makeup just mixes with this. It was blue. He's like, it's a really sad way to start off a movie like that. Anyways, yeah, so YB's dead, and Mr. Bobinski, other Mr. Bobinski, is like flat and closed. He's like clothes, and then he's just coming out as rats, all the mice, but they're like zombies, I guess. I really don't know. So then she loses her thing. Her square thing.
We sound insane. If you have no idea the
story, I don't know what I'm even saying anymore. I feel like I'm drunk. I'm not even old enough to drink. I'm only 14. So yeah, and then she weeps again, and at this point I was just like, oh, come on, not again. Because I hate it when I don't know, it just makes me feel really bad when female characters cry, because it just hurts. It really, really hurts. It's so sad. Like, I want to just go in there and give them a big hug, because they deserve it. Although I did.
That's the thing.
Oh, that's the thing? Okay, it's not a squirt.
Because earlier in the movie, when they read her tea leaves.
Oh yeah, it's the hand.
She was in great danger. So they gave her this little thing to help her. The neighbors kind of help in supporting her and telling her not to go through the little door.
But of course, she didn't listen because she's like 8, 9. She's 8 or 9, and
She's, how old is she?
I think she's like 8 or 9. I don't know.
I thought she was like 13.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. So yeah, Charlie comes back and gives her the eye, which is a circus ball for some reason.
11.
11. Okay, sorry. Excuse me. Yeah, so then she goes inside the house because the whole world is falling apart because of some lunar eclipse, I guess. Because the button is covering the moon.
Yeah, it's like a time period that she can have.
It's like it's like a solar eclipse, if you know what I mean. But I say it's a lunar eclipse because at night, the climax is at night. So she runs inside the house, and then we see the demented form of the demented monster, or whatever the hell it's called. I really don't know. I don't know a lot of things. So then she tricks the other mother. I'm just gonna whatever. That's what she looks like. Oh man, she looks like
Okay.
no humanity.
Ready.
Yeah, right.
That's before. That's the button.
All right, so that's she
Human
has hardly any humanity in that look, but like the human look is there, but there's hardly any.
And she turns into that.
And yeah, and then there's a hybrid form, which is kind of a mix between the two, which is like
and her
her hybrid form is like probably my favorite of the bunch. I don't know.
Yeah, right. There's like this.
Yeah, there's that. Yeah, that's the hybrid form.
And then we go straight into this.
And then there's that, which is the monster. And then there's a point where, yeah, Coraline tricks it. I'm gonna call it an it because I don't know if it's probably genderless. It just takes on a gender to trick you.
Gender fluid.
Gender fluid. So she sees her parents are in the snow globe, and she says that it's like, hey, they're in the door.
Beldum. It's called the Beldum.
Beldum.
Yes.
Beldum dumbbell? The dumbbell. 1, 2. Okay. So she says it's in the doorway to the other side. I've got friends on the other side.
I've got friends.
I shouldn't have. I said that'd be I said the Joker one would be my last pop culture reference, but I lied. As I just made a Princess and the Frog reference. Okay, I'm done for real. Okay, so then she's like, "You're wrong. You're gonna stay here, and you're gonna love it." And then Coraline's just like, "No."
You're wrong. You're gonna stay here. You're gonna love it.
And Coraline's just like, no, I'm not. I'm gonna hate it.
You're torturing me. She's like, you're gonna love it. You can don't worry about it.
No, you're not. No, I'm not. And then she throws Charlie, and then she's blind, and she looks like I'm acting like an idiot right now. Just to demonstrate this. Excuse me. Excuse me. I can end this right now. Oh my god, no. Okay. So then the whole world starts to fall apart, and it just looks like a hypnotism. I think I got hypnotized by that movie. You're just like, obey the Beldum.
Obey the Beldum.
That is such a stupid name.
Okay.
That is such a stupid name.
Why?
Coraline escapes, but the hand is still there, I guess, because they need to have a false climax. I'll get to that soon, and I'll get to my problems, but it's a problem.
Beldum.
Beldum.
Beldam is another word for witch or hag.
Beldam. Can I just call her a witch? Because she really is a demon witch. Demon witch. That would have been better. So Coraline escapes. Everything's back to normal. The ghosts have their thing, and then there's one last thing, but I'll get to that when I have my problems list. And
you have a list of problems?
I've got a few problems, okay?
Okay, I will tell you Colin's number one problem.
Wait. I will say it, but I had to go through my first few. So then everyone lives happily ever after, and then Coraline and Whitey tell the grandma stories about her sister, I guess. The end. All right, now we get to my problems, and I just adjusted myself. This is what my stupid glare. Okay, so problems. There are a lot of things. There are more things that this movie does. It's stop.
Like pretending to throw up for like 5 minutes.
Okay. All right, I'll get there when I get there. There are a lot of things, more things that this movie does good than it does bad. But there are a few things it does really bad. So let's get to it. The first problem,
Filthy bad.
not filthy bad, just not great. So I think one of the problems I had immediately from the start was Whitey, and man, like she hates me for this, doesn't she? You hate me for this now. Okay, no, not really. We've been friends for a long time. Yeah. So Whitey, I noticed that he was gonna be the comic relief, and I'm like, oh shoot, I'm screwed. I thought he would be, but because his first few things didn't impress me, and then he just talks way too damn much. It's his character. I get it, but it annoyed me because I hate it when comedy is just like all in your face and screaming. What?
Bear.
Oh, it's her dog. Her dog is named Bear. Bear McCreary. Oh my God. Stop with the pop culture references, guys, please. All right. And then my next problem was like the second, like the false climax where the ghosts are just like, you need to hide the key and stuff. I thought it didn't matter. Yeah. And then the whole hand just came back. I'm like, wait, what? Where's
The thing about Coraline that I just like, that I kind of agree with Colin on, like, it goes on. Like, we have this story, it's a steady story, you get it, she's miserable. She meets her family. Then we have a problem for the whole movie. And then it's resolved. Then there's another problem. Then there's another problem. Then it just kind of goes up and down a lot.
the ending goes on for way too damn much.
Like, you finish it, and then there's this, and then there's this, and then there's
like
this.
I thought there would be like one big resolution where everybody just gives a hug and all that jazz and
Kind of was.
makeup, but it goes on for way too damn long and just yeah, that's why I wasn't a fan of the whole hand thing. And then all right, and then another one is that
what he's talking about is when she closed the door for the last time, it caught her hand, and her hand fell out, and it kind of like followed her everywhere, the hand.
Yeah, because I thought like it cut it off and it start to move and then she just like destroy it, because that would be fun. That'd be fine, and that's what happens sometimes. Also, she's finally destroyed, but like it wasn't really so it makes her defeat less satisfying, and it just makes it too stretched out.
Yeah, there wasn't like, also you don't even know if she's dead. She might still be alive. She's just kind of locked in her house.
Who knows? There's not going to be a sequel.
There might. Neil Gaiman might write another
You know he's not gonna.
He might.
You know he won't. He will not. He can't.
No, he said, okay, wait.
Okay. While she's looking that up, I'm preparing to lose my sanity again, because I can lose my sanity over a few things.
Neil Gaiman has a simple explanation why he has not written a Coraline 2 yet. I'm waiting for Coraline 2's story that's good or as good or better than.
Or better than.
So there's no point in making a sequel that's less than the first book. So if he thinks of a better idea, then there will be a sequel. But right now he has none. So
yeah. So my biggest problem with the entire film, well, yeah, first here's another one, the music. Again, it's fine, but you just failed that so hard. You really did. You failed. No. Would you just catch the dang piece of food? Whatever it is. Is that a grape?
No, it's a chocolate kiss.
It's a kiss. Yeah! All right, whatever. The music, yeah, it's fine. All right, the music, it's fine, but yeah, the biggest problem is, you already got a taste of it. Now I'm gonna give you the full slice of pizza right here, guys. Okay. So, all right. So there's a scene where Coraline and other YB are just like moving around and they go to the theater. Don't show them again. They don't need to see that. So
You can
it's
research for yourself.
the two old women are playing and they just put on this really cringy performance. And so the first part, like there's like a fish, and then it's like the shorter one, I don't care about their names anymore. The shorter one is like a mermaid, like elderly fat Ariel. I'm trying.
Rotate the head, and it's her.
Yeah, and then it's like elderly fat Ariel with button eyes that kind of look like pickles.
Yeah, remember, everyone has button eyes.
Yeah, but it looks like pickles because it's like green and dark green at the same time. So then it cuts to Cupid Angel.
They like unzip themselves, and they're like tiny, skinny.
Yeah, wait. I'm getting there. So then we cut to a taller one who's wearing okay. Full disclosure, I have a poster up there with Princess Leia in a bikini. So I'm kind of a hypocrite for saying this.
Yeah.
Her outfit is too revealing.
It's not an outfit, they're stickers.
They are not stickers. It's not a sticker. It is so whatever it is, it's like weird, and it made me not feel really good. It made me feel like I was gonna have adult feelings. YouTube gonna come after me if I say the word. So then the two of them are on. Okay, stop. Okay, so then
here are the eyes he was talking about, because they're like greenish.
They're like pickles. They kind of are. They kind of are like pickles. And then all of a sudden they're standing on like the edges of the stage, and then they zip out of their old forms and they're like young. It's kind of like that scene in the I swear this is the real last pop culture reference I will make in this video. Sure. I've been promising. It reminds me of that scene in The Wiz where
I love The Wiz.
Which one? The 78 version? Because I can't sit through that.
The one with Michael Jackson.
I can't sit through that. It's terrible.
What?
It's awful. It's pure. It's so bad. We'll get there in a future podcast.
I'm so hurt right now. Yeah. I can't even speak to you.
Okay, whatever. I'm sorry.
What other version of The Wiz have you seen? That's better than Diana Ross and Michael Jackson.
They're the only two actors that do a good job in that entire film. Everyone else is not good.
I'm so hurt. The Wiz. Just to be sure, this is the one that you don't like, right? This is the one.
Hold on. Yeah, because there's a version of The Wiz called The Wiz Live. It was released on ABC like a few years ago or something.
Sorry, ABC. Love you.
So it reminds me of that scene in The Wiz. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's
the one you like?
The one I don't like.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. We'll get there. Maybe the next podcast can talk about that. Okay?
Maybe we'll watch movies and review them. Look at our segment. The podcast.
The 928Studios podcast, people. Anyways, yeah. So it reminds me of that scene. All right, let me just get to the point. It reminds me of that scene in The Wiz after they defeat the witch who falls down a toilet for some reason. Her throat is a toilet.
True.
It is. For real. You gotta watch the scene. So then they're dancing to a song called Brand New Day, which is probably one of my favorites in the entire musical. And then they just take off their clothes and they're in like leotard, like white leotard, and they're just dancing around and just a bunch of people. And I'm like,
okay, back to Coraline.
What even is that? All right, back to Coraline. Those are all my only problems with the movie. So final scores. So I'm gonna give it to Sophia first, and then I'm gonna give mine.
I'm gonna give it 9.5 out of 10.
I'm honestly, out of all of the animated movies I've seen, this is probably one of the most unique.
Oh, look at my foot, just so you know.
And oh, sweet.
You
It's one
know,
of the most unique and inventive films, but it could have been much better.
very unique. The plot is very unique.
It's
Good
so
for you, Neil
unique.
Gaiman.
And I give it a solid 8 out of 10.
That's pretty good.
Solid. It's a B.
It's solid.
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 It will hold up after a few years, but I do not think it is great.
Would you watch it again?
Maybe I would watch it again. Depends on the scenario. So I guess that
Better
is
than you thought?
what?
Was it better than you thought?
I thought it would be pretty fantastic, but it's not fantastic. That's for sure.
Fantastic! Are you
That's for sure. That's just my opinion. If you disagree with me, that's fine.
Okay. I think everyone should watch it.
It's a must watch. I say you could.
It's something you should watch.
It's a must watch, and I'd recommend it to anybody who's an animation fan who worked at the stop motion. Like honestly, please.
Also, if you're into horror, but like you don't want to go too much, like it's a very easy starting horror place.
Kind of like Jumanji in the case where it's made for kids. No. Just listen. It's made primarily for like children audiences, but it also has a few things for adults, like scariness.
Which Jumanji?
The original, the 1995.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Not the.
I was
no.
like, the second one does it.
Not the new That's not even the second one. It's the third one because the space one is the second one. Yeah, not the new version. Not the new version with all the well-known
That
celebrities.
one's better, but whatever.
Agree to disagree.
The first one is so boring.
Agree to disagree.
I love you, Robin Williams, but it didn't work.
Robin Williams is one of my favorite actors of all time.
Oh my god, you should watch this documentary called Robin's Wish.
Maybe I should, because I want to look more into his career, because I know he did so many. I've seen Mrs. Doubtfire.
That's
really fantastic. It's probably one of the better 90s films, and that's saying something because I am a huge fan of the 90s films.
Have you seen Hook?
I started Hook. I should rewatch it, maybe with you.
Finish it.
I want to rewatch it with you specifically because maybe I should do a podcast on this, because this is my first
movie podcast. Movie podcast.
Yeah, it's called the 928Studios podcast. Maybe I might rename it. I just don't know. But anyways, guys, that is it for the very first 928Studios podcast. Check out Coraline if you haven't. It is done by Leica Studios. None of that. Well, we didn't show any footage. We just kind of talked about it. I guess if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Just like it, comment, and share, and subscribe. Thanks very much for watching, and I will catch all of you very soon. Take care.